2025 at 6:30 in the evening, and then to act on the following articles. We will detail those in a minute. I, Constable of the Town of Hampden, have on this date posted copies of the warrant for the town meeting to be held on November 3rd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in all places as designated by the Town of Hampden. Signed, Dennis L. Hackett, October 16th, 2025. The warrant being properly served, the formal reading is waived, and the posted warrant shall be part of the record. I read that statement because, as you know, at the annual town meeting, we discussed that henceforth and going forward, we will not read each article individually, as it's really over the years we've come to see it's redundant, the reading of the article and then the reading of the motion and the question description itself. There will be an explanation as always, but in an effort to speed it up, we will read the title of the question. So I do encourage you, if you've got a copy of the town meeting warrant in front of you, just to read ahead or read and be prepared with any questions you might have. Are there any veterans with us tonight? Could I please ask that all of our veterans first stand to be acknowledged? Could I ask the veterans now to please lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to our special town meeting. I'd like to, as we get started, I'd like to at least let you all know who the folks directing the meeting are. Specifically not me, because I'm just in the middle of all of this. But the folks up on the stage are first Lauren McCormick, Assistant to the Board of Selectmen, Brian Domina, Town Administrator. Brian, sorry, you got to really, I got to work on getting that right. You spent like 20 minutes here trying to get me going. Don Davenport, John Flynn, Eric Vanderleeden, your Board of Selectmen. On the table to my left, Sheila Slate, Assistant Collector, Aoife Weissman, your Town Clerk and your Collector, and our Town Attorney, Rose Crowley. Your Advisory Committee down on the floor, Doug Boyd is your Chair, Jack Matthews, Heather Turcott, and Sandra Sheehan. I'm of the understanding we have presentations, maybe one or two tonight. We'll start with the first one. Several. Wait a minute. How many? No. I was told that we were going to be out of here in a half hour. No, I'm kidding.
I know you don't want to spend the money that quick, so we'll go slow.
All right. These presentations have been brought to the moderator's attention. They're very important, and they are very special people who every day protect and serve us. So please, let's give them our attention.
Thank you, Rick. All right. Whoop, drop the pen. All right. So good evening. My name is Chief Scott Trauma with the Hampden Police Department, as we all know, or may not know. We're coming together tonight with several other agencies: Hampden Fire EMS, Wilbraham Regional Communications, Action. Where's our Action? Right here. Action. So for another evening of a life-saving award. So we have several individuals who are going to be presented with a certificate for a life-saving award. We had another save, and I'll read a little synopsis of basically what happened. On Sunday afternoon, September 7th, approximately 16:30, first responder agencies in the town of Hampden, together with Action Ambulance Service, were dispatched to a confirmed cardiac arrest at an address in the town of Hampden. While units were en route, dispatchers at the Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center provided CPR instructions over the phone to the patient's wife, enabling life-saving efforts to begin immediately. The police department arrived first on scene, initiated CPR, and applied automated external defibrillator. Shortly thereafter, the Hampden Fire Department arrived and assisted as a AED delivered a shock. CPR was continued as the Action Ambulance paramedics units arrived. Upon arrival, the paramedic crew initiated advanced life support care. During these interventions, the patient began breathing again on his own. The paramedic unit continued treatment on scene and during transport to Bay State Medical Center. The outcome, the rapid coordination between dispatch, police, fire, and action ambulance resulted in successful resuscitation and stabilization of the patient prior to the hospital arrival. It goes to show you how the teamwork that we have in our community and in many communities, but the chain of survival had come together and circled right back around. We have another save for the town of Hampden and a presentation to our men and women involved. So for the police department, we have, I think one of our officers is not here, correct? And the other one officer is here. The first officer that is here will be Officer Sean Leclerc. If you'd step up, we'll present you with the award. Action went ahead and did certificate of appreciation to Sean Leclerc. He started this last year, so great job. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Action or Fire.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to say we're really pleased to be able to serve your town. We're really comfortable here. We really like your community, and just really happy to be able to celebrate a save here. So if Israel Moiston and John Carlos Rivera could come up. This was also Jean Carlos's first call ever. Good job, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Israel Moiston, congratulations. Very excellent EMT we have. And unfortunately, Kieran Schweitzer, he was the paramedic on the call. He couldn't be here tonight, but I'd like to give him a little round of applause.
All right, thank you. It's an honor for me to present these certificates to our members of the fire department. Always very, very proud of my members. They always come through. They're calm, they're collective, and it's just a privilege. First is firefighter Josh Sterling, firefighter paramedic. Lieutenant Sterling is in charge of our EMS program here at the fire station. He does a great job. So I'm actually going to turn it over to him and have him present these other 4 certificates. All right. Oh, here. You say the names and I'll hand them. All right, perfect.
Firefighter First Responder Ryan LaFountain. Firefighter First Responder John Fitzgerald. Firefighter EMT Landon Gursky. Firefighter EMT Sharon Paquette. and firefighter EMT John Cadger. Thank you very much.
And last but not least will be Anthony Gentile, but this is where it all starts right here. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Gentile. If you don't know, I'm the Communications Director for the Wilbraham Regional Emergency Communications Center. We dispatch for Hampden, Wilbraham, and Belchertown. So this event took place in September, and it's one of the most, I don't want to say rare, but it's very rare for us to have a call where somebody's brought back to life there and not at the hospital. So this is a very important call for all of our dispatchers. And also, we usually don't get to see the end result of a call. So it's great to have this outcome, and it's great to have this support from the community. I have 3 dispatchers to give awards to today. Dispatcher Jacqueline Jerry, Dispatcher Sabrina Romano, and Dispatcher David Squires. If you come up, please. Shake my hand. That was a great job. Sabrina? Thank you. And David. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So, Rick, we're all set.
No. I want to also take this opportunity to say goodbye and thank you, maybe thank you and goodbye, to Chief Trombley, who tonight the Select Board met with our new police chief, Dan Bruno, town resident, and worked out the contract. He will be starting when he's sworn in next week. But I think he finds the town in great shape because of the leadership of Chief Trombley. I remember when Scott came on board a few years back, hey, you did a great job.
Thank you. 31 years ago.
31 years ago, and you learned him. So I think the town owes Scott their thanks for all he's done for us and for the leadership he's brought to the town of Hampden. I want to be the first.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So he has big shoes to fill. Where's the new guy? There's the new guy over there. Come on up. Come on up, Dan.
You better hurry up. We got a meeting to run.
Listen, he knows he's a town guy. He knows about these meetings. This is not like him. He's not a shy, retiring guy. I don't want you to say anything. Okay, just thank you. This is Dan Bruno, our new chief.
Congratulations. You guys are in good hands. Thank you.
Not yet. Got a couple more things. Yeah, a couple more housekeepings, and we're good. My first thought on this whole thing is to this young man right here. That was your first call?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the back too, and I was with these 2 paramedics. One was here, I don't think the other one's here right now.
Well done. With the number of people involved, that heart attack didn't stand a chance. I just want to give you a couple of quick personal notes, then I'll go on with the housekeeping. We'll get the meeting started. First and foremost, 31 years ago, I was on the Board of Selectmen when we appointed Scott Trombley to be an officer in the town of Hampden. And Scott, from the late John Flynn, Art Booth, and the late Art Booth, and I'm the only one of the original 3 left, great job. Thank you so much. On a other personal note, especially with the dispatchers. Tony will attest that my heart has a special place with them because our oldest daughter has been a dispatcher starting in Hampden and now with Wilbraham for the better part of the last 13 years. And as a father, I've had an opportunity to listen to her work, and it brings tears to my eyes how qualified, how professional, and how well done our system is. And Tony, all your people, well done, thank you. And lastly, my last personal note, and you better not mess this up because my future son-in-law is standing over there, Taran Siga. And for the rest of you along the wall, it doesn't matter how fast I drive when you see me in town. They're good about it, actually. I'm the one who's got the pea brain and the heavy foot. Okay, just a few housekeeping items and we'll get going here. Please remember to silence your cell phone. This meeting will be on Zoom. It will be carried live. Those watching are not able to participate. You have to be here to be able to do so. This is a free open meeting, free in discussion. Please remember these are your friends and neighbors. We're all friends and neighbors. Let's be respectful of each other's opinion and each other's thoughts. All questions must be addressed directly through the moderator, which in this case is me. Please keep all questions and discussion on point. A question may be moved at any time by a member of the audience or by the moderator, subject to a vote at the moderator's discussion. And lastly, if I could ask as you're leaving, could you please keep it down just so we can keep the meeting moving? Thank you, gentlemen. Lastly, if you have any questions or you have a point you wish to make, we need you to come to the microphone and we need you to speak into the microphone. This is a recorded meeting and your words are important and they need to be saved. That said, we'll start the meeting. Under General Bylaws, Article 1, to amend the general bylaws for a 6:30 p.m. annual town meeting start time. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to change the starting time of the spring annual town meeting to 6:30 p.m. by substituting 6:30 p.m. for 7 p.m. in the first sentence of Chapter 2, Town Meeting, Section 1 of the Hampden General Bylaws.
There's a motion. Do we have a second? We do have a second. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
This is a change to the general bylaw. It does require a majority vote, but before we proceed, it seems straightforward, but are there any questions? You don't need to do this, right? You good? Oh, I see one straight back.
Thank you, Peter. You must have known I had a whole speech prepared. Thank you. No, it's just we found over the past couple of years that people seem to appreciate the earlier start. As the town meeting warrants are getting more complicated with more articles, sometimes people like to get home a little earlier. So, and of course, the longer it seems like check-in times for the annual town meeting, sometimes the meeting doesn't start for 15, 20 minutes. This, I think, will give people an opportunity to get here early, look over the warrant if they haven't already, and then get home in a reasonable time.
Any other questions? Seeing none, this is a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The motion carries. The moderator declares a majority. Article 2, funding for the townhouse maintenance account, facilities manager.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum of $38,008 to increase the budget line item 32.4 Facilities Manager.
We have a motion. We have a second. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
This, again, will require a majority vote. But before we proceed, is there any questions? Please, come on up.
Ellen Bump, 43 North Road. Before we start talking about money, I wondered if somebody from the advisory committee would be able to give us an idea of our current financial standing?
Absolutely.
Certainly. We are working with a free cash number of $1,820,000. That number's about twice what it normally is because of an accounting accommodation that the state made with us last year. But we have $1,820,000 available for expenditure tonight. We also have just under $1.3 million in our stabilization fund. If all of the articles pass that are on the warrant, and our recommendation for the balance of the free cash is accepted by town meeting, the tax increase would be approximately 8%.
What was the increase?
The approximately 8% increase.
Are there, and Ellen, first and foremost, thank you. I actually meant to have that in my notes because we usually do get a little State of the Union from the advisory committee, and usually we talk about that. So thank you so much for asking for that. Doug, do you have anything else to add? Are you good?
Unless anybody has any questions, we could go into a lot of detail, but that's the
Okay.
outline of it.
All right, fair enough. Are there any other questions? I see one in the back, and again, you're going to need to come up to the microphone, please, Robin.
Robin Warner, Scannick Road. I was just curious why we had to vote, if we have 1.3 million, if we can transfer some of those funds to cover some of these expenses instead of raising our taxes for every, I know it's the way the process it works. I don't fully understand it, but it seems if we have 1.3 million, maybe we could transfer some so we don't have to raise our taxes.
Can I take that, Rick?
I was going to say, why don't you take it?
The recommendation is that these articles be funded by transferring from the free cash,
Right.
Which we have available. So this is not raising and appropriating new money.
Okay, for this individual.
For any of these articles, the recommendation that we're making is that they be funded from the free cash.
Okay.
And free cash is money which is in excess of what we had planned on having available.
I understand that. Then why would our taxes go up 8%?
Well, because in the spring, we increased our budget by about $1.2 million, which is in excess of our 2.5% increase. If we've been increasing our spending faster than we've been increasing our ability to tax. So what's been happening over the past few years is our ability to tax is being reduced as we have increased the expenditures. What's going to happen in the next year or two is our ability to increase taxes is going to be very, very limited because we're going to be falling within that 2.5% cap. So to answer your question, why aren't we transferring out of stabilization, which is the long-term savings account, the $1.3 million? That money is kept for a couple of reasons. One is it improves our rating when we have to borrow money because we have that money in the bank. We get a better rate when we borrow. There's also a cash flow issue. That money is available for expenditures. And secondly, it's meant for long-term situations. So we might apply it to a capital item. We're going to need that going forward as our ability to increase beyond the 2.5% is eliminated.
So the 1.3 million that we're not, it says raise and appropriate though. So if we transfer it, let's say we say no and we deny all of these.
Yeah, hold on, Robin, hold on one second. The motion was not to raise and appropriate, it was to transfer. For the warrant article.
Yeah.
See, the warrant article and the motion will not always be the same.
Okay.
It sets the framework for the question, giving the town meeting the latitude to do it either way. But once the motion is made, and the motion was to transfer from unappropriated available funds, that is the only way it can come. So this is not, in essence, new money. This is money coming from existing funds we already have.
I understand that.
So they're not raising it, they're transferring it.
It's just, okay.
The warrant question is different than the motion.
Well, so my question is, if we vote no for all of these articles, right, even if we're transferring them, our taxes are still going to go up 8%.
No.
They won't, okay.
No, if we
Just
don't.
wanted to clarify that,
Well,
because of our budget that was already done in the spring. You know I don't understand, I don't know if everybody else doesn't understand how all of this works, but I was just trying to clarify.
No, I appreciate that, and we're doing our best to balance the immediate needs with the longer-term needs.
Oh, yeah, I know, things are changing.
And keeping the town affordable for all of us to continue to live here.
Well, that's an issue for a lot, so.
It is.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin. Nope, good question, well done, thank you. I do see another question. Please, come on up to the microphone.
Hi, Lauren Otherwood, Genevieve Drive. Is this a instant 8% increase, or is it a gradual over a certain amount of years?
It will be calculated into the next tax bill.
Thank you.
That's pretty immediate.
Any other questions? Is that a question, Peter? And if so, come on up. No, Peter, you got to come up. Okay. You were starting to ask on the way up, and I want everyone to hear you.
Good evening, everybody. Peter Hatch, Scannick Road. Kind of curious why all of a sudden we need a facilities manager.
It's a good question. So we've recently taken over, as you know, this new town hall, Thornton Burgess, and we have several, town buildings now. And to contract a lot of that work costs a lot of money. So we had partial funding for Herb's job, and then this is requesting the additional funding to complete that. So basically, we're, I think, indirectly kind of saving money by having him here, and we have several other town buildings. It's not just this building he takes care of. It'll be several other town buildings.
So what we're voting on is the $38,000 for the remainder of this year, correct?
Correct.
Now, what's the budget the following year for this line item?
So that will have to be determined, right? Right, so we'll have to add that to our next, to
Well, I think we should look at that now before we go any further with this.
well, this is the motion on the table right now, but this is to.
Eric, hold on.
Second? So 70, so it would be 78,000 total for this year. This is just the remainder, the addition to make it the total of 78 for the year.
What type of certification does this gentleman have, individual have, that's going to be inspecting our buildings? Well, why can't the building inspector do it?
So it's not necessarily inspecting, it's maintenance of the buildings. So he was employed by the school district prior, taking care of this building.
I'm aware of that part of it, but again, he doesn't know the rest of the buildings, he only knows this building. And what kind of certification does he have for the rest of the buildings in town? Is he a certified inspector? Is he a certified electrician, plumber?
Well, I do know that several qualified candidates applied for the position, and
In other words, you don't know the answer.
No, several resumes were given.
Is he a licensed plumber, electrical inspector?
No.
Is he a licensed service?
No.
Okay, thank you. You answered my question.
Okay. Are we good?
Not really, but.
All right.
Hi, Peter. I appreciate how frugal you are. And I'm probably almost as cheap as Peter is.
You got to state your name for the record.
I'm sorry. Richard Patello, Chapin Road.
Thank you.
And I'm the town treasurer. One of the reasons that this is done partially is when it came up in the spring budget, we weren't sure if the town was going to approve moving into this facility, so we weren't exactly sure what our needs were. So we deferred the rest of that money until now. The one thing that I'm finding now that that we have somebody in this business is we have somebody who can deal with contractors, who can also pick up a paintbrush, who is actually doing much of the work himself. Now, he can't do licensed plumbing, he can't do a licensed electrical, but it's amazing. The other thing is before he was on staff, Brian was often out of his office dealing with contractors and unavailable, and Brian is paid at a higher hourly rate than this position is. And I appreciate having Brian back in the townhouse, managing the town, instead of trying to juggle these responsibilities.
Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, this requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 3, additional funding for the insurance account employee benefits.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer for unappropriated available funds the sum of $56,000 to increase the budget line item 7.2 employee benefits.
We have a motion. We have a second. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Again, this being a transfer, it'll require a majority vote. But before we proceed, are there any questions? Do you want to say anything?
This money is for, we had some retirements, so we owe our employees for many years some pay for vacation time, unused sick time, and that type of thing. We didn't budget that in the annual town meeting because we didn't project these retirements, so this is what this is for.
You've got an explanation. Does anybody have any questions with regard to the retirement buyouts? This, as a transfer from unappropriated available funds, will require a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 4, transfer funds from the county retirement account to the Council on Aging account.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to take no action on Article 4.
All right, a little bit of a change. There's been a motion to take no action, which means we will, in essence, dismiss the question. But before we proceed, does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Does anybody have any questions on the motion to take no action? Seeing none, again, this is a majority vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 5, repurpose funds from the HVA system replacement at the Hampden Senior Center. This is under capital projects.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to amend the vote taken under Article 18, Senior Center Repairs and Renovations of the May 12, 2025 annual town meeting to add the replacement of the HVAC system as a permitted use of the appropriated funds.
We've got a motion. We've got a second. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
My understanding that this is a housekeeping article question or cleanup housekeeping item to clean up the article as originally voted. Do you folks have any explanation, or you want to proceed?
Basically, you appropriated money for four different things for the repair and upgrade of the senior center. During the past year, one other item has come up that is of a higher priority, the repair and replacement of the HVAC system. So the one thing that was not done of the money that was appropriated was the repair of the roof. We're going to use the money that was left over in the first article towards the next article, which is to replace the HVAC system. As Gary will explain later, this doesn't mean the roof doesn't need to be fixed. It just isn't a higher priority than the HVAC system. You all have a house. You know that sometimes you plan on fixing something, but something else goes bad and you have to take care of that right away. It's really no different. The other thing I quickly want to say, Rick, is we have two people here that need to be recognized. We have Cliff Bombard, who's here as a citizen for the first time in, I don't know, maybe 100 years, might be 75 years. But he is no longer the town accountant because we have a new town accountant sitting next to him. Elise Diamond, she's right there. So if you have a problem, see her. Cliff will just stand back and laugh. Thank you for your service, Cliff.
Cliff, I can't imagine a better reason to convolute the question. introducing you. We should have done a long time ago tonight. Apologies, my friend, and thank you for your service. Again, this is a housekeeping item. It requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 6, HVA system replacement at the Hampden Senior Center. Don't forget to say your name.
Gary Weiner, 53 Mill Road. Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum of $130,000 to replace the HVAC system at the Hampden Senior Center located at 104 Allen Street.
We have a motion. We have a second. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Gary, before you, I know you're going to do an explanation, but just so we know, the last article was a housekeeping article. This is a transfer of funds. It's a little bit different, but it is to the same project. Go ahead.
Thank you. If we get the first slide, please. I don't like my back to people. So, when we came in the spring, we asked for $140,000 for maintenance, 3 maintenance reasons, if you will. The roof needs replacement, the bathrooms need upgrading, and the septic system had minor issues that needed to be taken care of based on the Title V report. As of this date, the septic system has been upgraded. The bathrooms have gone out to bid for improvements. We anticipate this month that those bathrooms will start to be upgraded, new toilets and new urinals, new dividers, painting, and so that is moving forward. In this summer, what we were planning on doing is putting the roof out to bid. However, in August, the HVAC system decided to spring a leak, if you will. Condenser froze up. The system is 25 years old. The second slide, if you would. And it has had yearly maintenance. However, at this point, it's an old system. And the costs, if you will, to keep it upgraded and functioning correctly are going to be extreme. And it was felt by the building committee that the replacement of the HVAC system and the heating system, or both systems together, made sense. BG Mechanical has been doing the maintenance on the system for years. We asked them for a review, and their recommendation was replacement. However, we decided that we wanted also a second look at the system, and with the help of Herb Foley, our new maintenance facilities person, we were able to get Pioneer Valley Environmental to also take a look. They concurred with BG Mechanical. So we put the roof off. We still need a roof. But we put the roof off recognizing that the senior center has more, the HVAC system certainly has more priority. It's the heating and cooling center for the town in the event of catastrophes where we need to have citizens use that facility. So we're here in front of you tonight asking for the additional funds to fund it. The third slide, please. Just a brief explanation of why we went with a replacement, and I won't speak to them and go through them, but you can read them for yourselves. However, so that you know, the building committee will be meeting with a number of heating cooling specialists this month and probably early December, so that we can get a review of the best technology that will be available to keep that center efficient and heating and cooling over the next 25 to 50 years. So that before we go out to bid, we're hoping that one, there may be some grant money available. Eversource may be available. It's a gas-fired system. There may be some grant money available, which we're hoping for, and we will be looking actively for. but also with our heating and cooling people, once we go out to bid, we're going to have a new and very efficient system. So there we are.
Thank you, Gary. Are there any questions? Seeing none, this will, as a transfer from unappropriated available funds, it will require a majority vote. All those, there is a question now. Come on up.
Or another with Genevieve Drive. Just to clarify, so this is for both the heating and the cooling? This is for both heating and the cooling systems, both systems? So where'd the 250,000 price tag come from if it hasn't gone out for any bids yet?
I'm sorry?
Where's the 250,000 price tag come from if it hasn't gone out for bid yet?
Sure.
Thank you, Gary.
When we asked BG Mechanical and Pioneer Valley, they took a look at both the systems, both the heating and cooling system, and we asked them for an estimate of replacement, and we have received estimates in that range for the replacement from both of them. They were within about $10,000 each. But again, it was replacement of that system. And what we want to do is to look at the newest technologies, mini splits for maybe a couple of the rooms that now have a problem, heat pumps and potentially a solar system. But again, we're going to explore those options. But the number, the 250,000, came from estimates given by those two mechanical people.
Set? Okay, good question. Are there any other questions? Now seeing no more, this requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 7, HVA system installation at the New Hampden Town Hall, formerly the Thornton W. Burgess School.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum of $300,000 to purchase and install new HVAC system and the new town hall, formerly Thornton W. Burgess Middle School, located at 85 Wilbraham Road.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Again, this question is a transfer from unappropriated available funds and will require a majority vote. Are there any questions? Do you want to do a brief explanation? Or is it, okay?
Yeah, so basically we got quotes. As most of you know, the library is going to be moving to this building. And a vast majority, nearly 80% of that cost is to have heat, AC, humidification control for the books to make sure they're safe, no issues with the books. And then the other 20% is for offices that don't currently have AC. So that's the other 20%. So that's really the short of that.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, this is again a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? The moderator declares a majority. Article 8, electrical upgrades and new signage at the Hampden Transfer Station.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer for unappropriated available funds the sum of $10,000 to extend the electrical service to the transfer shed.
We have a motion, we have a second. Does the advisory have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
This one does seem pretty straightforward, but are there any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? This one is declared unanimous. I just wanted to save you having to run through an explanation. No, I'm kidding you. Go. Go sit down.
We did offer to have the senior center, the senior center to knit blankets, but they wouldn't do it.
Wow. And all he was going to do was make a joke. I didn't even think he was going to be funny. Wow, sorry about that. Article 9, purchase of a new police cruiser.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to take no action on Article 9.
The motion to take no action has been made and seconded on a police cruiser. Does the advisory committee have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
This is a motion to take no action, requires a majority vote, but are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? This one's unanimous. Article 10, purchase of a compact wheel front-end loader.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town take no action on Article 10.
Do we got a second? We do have a second. The motion to take no action has been made and seconded. Does the advisory have a recommendation on no action?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Okay. Do you want to explain anything? Go ahead.
We do want to cover it. So this is something that the Highway Department brought to us. They have a need for it, but the board, the Highway Department, is very respectful of the financial situation that the advisory so eloquently explained to everybody. So be aware it is going to come up. We are exploring some other options to pay for it, whether it's a lease program, et cetera. But this is a need that Highway has, and it will be back for us. I'd also like to commend Eric for his first motion article and Peter Hatch for quizzing him on the first one, but he's going to stay. Thank you, Peter.
I gather, Peter, that means it's your job to toughen him up. We have a motion made, seconded, an explanation to take no action. Requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? This is unanimous. Article 11, purchase of a pickup truck.
Dan Blanchard, South Munson Road, Parks and Rec Director. I move that the town vote to take no action on Article 11.
I thought I heard a second. We got a motion. Motion to take no action. It has a second. Does the advisory have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
So the motion is we are here to take no action. Dan, you can say something or let it go. I'll go right to the vote.
No, I'll just echo what John said. This is a need that we have, and we'll be coming back for it.
Okay. So again, this is a motion to take no action. It requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? This is unanimous. Article 12. I'm sorry, let me set up the header for you folks. These next two questions come from the Community Preservation Act funds and will be presented by its chair. Article 12, sidewalk improvements at Centennial Commons. Is that going to be you, Doug?
Yes. Give me a second to find it here. Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $42,823 from the Community Preservation Fund for the replacement of sidewalks at Centennial Commons located at 26 Spring Meadow Lane.
Do we have a second? We do have a second. With a cookie. Nice job. It's usually cookies. You threw me a curve. So we have, does the advisory committee have a recommendation on the CPC recommendation?
We also recommend favorable action on this.
Is there an explanation, any discussion?
If I might just give a quick...
I was going to say, why don't you do it first and then we'll do questions.
Sure.
It's easier that way.
The Community Preservation Fund currently has approximately $690,000 in it. That's money which we have raised through the local assessment on the real estate tax together with the match which we receive from the state. Of that money, we have to spend a minimum of 10% 10% of it on what's known as affordable housing, 10% on historic preservation, and 10% on open space. This request from the Housing Authority will fulfill our obligation to spend money on affordable housing, which is one of the areas where we have been lagging in terms of that support which is required by the statute. So this is an expenditure of money which is already in the bank. This does not affect the tax rate.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, this requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? It is declared, it's declared a majority. Article 13, to construct a new turnaround at Old Cemetery.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $27,000 from the Community Preservation Fund for the construction of a cul-de-sac in the southwest section of the old cemetery.
Do we have a second? The motion has been made and seconded. Does the advisory have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Is there an explanation to be delivered? Are there any questions? Seeing none, this is a majority vote for the $27,000. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? I'm going to say unanimous. I think one card stayed up. Article 14, accept local room occupancy tax.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to adopt the local room occupancy excise tax under Massachusetts General Law 64G, Section 3A, at the rate of 6%.
The motion has been made and seconded. Advisory recommendation?
Advisory recommends unfavorable action.
Fair enough. Is there that's why we're here. That's the check and balance. Why don't we have an explanation, and then we'll proceed to the vote after questions, if any.
The explanation is that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts allows towns to assess an excise tax on room rentals, room occupancy rentals. Right now, there are 7 locations in Hampden which are paying state excise tax, which is 5.7%. The town is allowed to put an additional 6% tax on that. This tax would be collected from people who stay on vacation or rent rooms and lodging in Hampden. It won't create a lot of money. Wilbraham has this, and they collect about $19,000 a year, but it'll be something that a little bit more for the town's coffers, and it'll come from people, not from townspeople like you would see with the meals tax, but from people who visit the town or stay in different locations in town.
Thank you, Don. Are there any questions? I see one. Thad, come on up.
That Highland Circle. I don't have so much of a problem with the 6%. My question is, I've lived here in Hampden for 20 years, and I've had relatives come in town, and I have to put them up in hotels in Enfield and Wilbraham and everything. Where are these 7 places in town that I can put them up?
There's 4 of them at the Great Horse.
Can they be posted someplace?
Great
Horse, I know that's a golf course.
There's 4 rentals at the Great Horse. They have lodges up there, and there's let me see. There's a short-term rent, 2 short-term rentals on Chapin Road, and 1 short-term rental on Glendale Road. That's from the Department of Revenue. They provide that information. They're currently collecting taxes from those individuals. They can't tell us the amount for privacy, but those are the 7 locations. There may be an 8th one at Great Horse.
But can they tell us the actual places? Can we get a list posted someplace? Like I say, I spend money in Enfield and Wilbraham. I'd much rather spend it in Hampden. Where?
I'm not sure that directly answers your question, Thad, but...
I don't think it's on the web.
Yeah, but go from there. Yes, sir.
Hi, Sean Sullivan, Walnut Road. I'm just curious why the advisory board is recommending against this.
Yeah,
let's be fair. Hold on. Let's not do that. Here we go. Go.
Advisory is not recommending this article for 2 reasons. One is that the current zoning for the town prohibits rentals of less than 30 days. So short-term rentals are prohibited by our bylaws. So essentially what we're asking by way of this vote is to tax an impermissible use. We would prefer to see that other bylaw addressed and cleaned up if there's an intent to bring this tax, this occupancy tax. And the second is I guess, more of a philosophical reason. That is that those property owners are already paying their real estate taxes just like the rest of us are, and that there's been no demonstrated increase in the burden to the town from these rentals. So to ask them to pay an additional 6% seems unjustified.
First, to answer your second point, the tax would not be paid by the business owners. The taxes are collected from the individuals who rent the property. For instance, if you go to the Cape and stay in a hotel, you're paying, at the Cape, they pay the state tax 5.7, you pay 6% tax on your room, and you also pay another 3.5% tax for the seashore there. So it's not the business owners that would pay it. The business owners don't have to, the Department of Revenue will collect it and just quarterly send the money to the town, what it is. As far as the short-term rental, the Department of Revenue right now has 3 properties listed in Hampden as short-term rentals in which they're collecting taxes on.
I get you. You're right. Go ahead. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, this is also a majority vote. All those in favor? In favor of adopting the collection of the 6%? All those in favor? Are there any opposed? We're going to have to count. Let's see. Dick, can I steal you and someone just to do the counts on each side? Gary, can you do this side of the room? And Dick, if you do this side of the room? So I'm going to do this again. All those, wait till these 2 guys get up. So Dick, you grab those guys. Gary, if you get that side in the stage. Okay? Please hold up your cards. All those in favor? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. A yes vote will allow the 6% to be collected by the state from those folks who stay in the rooms of the short-term rentals. A negative vote will not allow this tax to be collected. Okay? The town gets the money, the state collects it. So the state will collect it based on the invoice presented to the person who stays in the room. The state will collect that money and then remit it back to the town on a quarterly basis. Okay. So again, a yes vote will allow the tax to be collected. All those in favor? $12 yeses. Did you get these guys? So you got. Guys, hold your cards. Set a good example. All right, hold on. 1 and 2. Okay, those opposed. If I got this right, the yeses are 35, the noes are 34. We have a majority. Couldn't have made it much closer. Don't start with me. 35 to 34, the majority is declared. We are now to Article 15. The final articles are financial transfers. Article 15, transfer from free cash to Water Department expansion project.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town to vote to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum of $650,000 for the purpose of paying the costs of the previous approved expansion to the Scandic Valley Water District.
The motion has been made. It has been seconded. Advisory, do you have a recommendation?
Advisory recommends favorable action.
Dick, I'm certain you have an explanation. or answer any questions, I hope.
So, yes, at two previous town meetings, $3.5 million was approved to be spent for the expansion and overhaul of the water district, something that we were kind of forced into by the EPA. The good news is, and it was a borrowing authorization, but no appropriation went with that. The good news is that the total price, it looks like right now, the bid will about $3.3 million, $3.360, $282 and 20 cents. Don't forget the 20 cents. We got a grant for $1 million, so that came right off the top. And then Brian was able to find from the remaining American Rescue Plan, ARPA money that we had, he was able to find $223,299.99 of appropriate expenditures we could make out of that. So that brought our liability down to $2,136,982.21. At the fall town meeting last year, the strategy was to try to pay this off over 2 or 3 years, particularly to try to get it off the books before the remodeling on the bonding for the firehouse remodel came due. And to that end, we took $650,000 out of our stabilization fund. We are planning on another $300,000 or $400,000 on the tax rate. We had a procedural error that DOR, the Department of Revenue, the state, decided that that we didn't have the authority to actually spend the money, but we could tax for it. So we got the money, it went into the bank. That's part of the reason that the free cash or unappropriated available funds is about double what it usually is because of some finagling there. I was hoping to spend $900,000 to $1 million to pay down this debt this year, but as you've heard from the advisory committee, we're in kind of tough times with our operating budget. I think we have a moral obligation to at least take the $650,000 that we took out of our stabilization, which is our long-term savings and capital account, and put that toward the water project rather than fritter it away.
Are there any questions? Seeing none. I'm sorry, Gary.
Dick, can I just ask, the contract is done, complete at this point? Basically, I mean, the contractor's out of town.
All the road work has been done. I'm not sure all the rest of the upgrades have been done yet, and I know we haven't spent all the money yet. So Time Bound hasn't approved the last payments, I know that.
I'm just wondering if we haven't paid off the $650 that we're asking for. Is the contractor waiting on his payment at this point?
Oh, no, no. The way this stuff works is because we have the borrowing authorization, anything that I don't have the money appropriated or transferred into by the end of the year, I'll just buy an estate house note and roll it over for another year. So no, but we pay our bills.
Good.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, this requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? This is unanimous. Article 16, transfer from free cash to reduce the tax rate.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum of $636,193 for the purpose of reducing the tax rate for fiscal year 2026.
The motion has been made and seconded to transfer from unappropriated available funds the sum, if I got this right, $636,193,000. How's the advisory feel about its recommendation?
Advisory thinks this is a very good idea.
If you love your own motion, life is good. Any explanation you want to offer?
This is the balance of the unspent free cash. So this is applying the maximum amount that we can to reduce the tax rate.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, this requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? This is a unanimous pass. Article 17, transfer from the General Stabilization Fund to reduce the tax rate. Advisory?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to take no action on Article 17.
Do we have a second? Oh, we did get one. Okay. The motion has been made and seconded. How do you feel?
We think this is a good idea as well, since we have nothing left to transfer.
A motion to take no action requires a majority vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? This is unanimous. I think we're on the last article. Article 18, transfer from free cash to the General Stabilization Fund.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to take no action on Article number 18.
The motion has been made and seconded to take no action. I think we all know the drill on no action. I'm sure we've heard enough on stabilization, but are there any questions? Seeing none, this is a majority vote. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That is also unanimous. Thank you and have a great night. Yeah, they're all gone anyway. We're out of here.